Tonight on DC News Now, tragedy in Texas. Flash floods, killing more than 100 people, many of them children.
This used to be a campground. These are all campsites.
Local first responders on their way to Central Texas to assist in search and rescue operations.
Stifling conditions are expected to continue on Tuesday. We'll let you know when a few stronger storms could also join the mix.
Chaos in the district, more than a dozen shootings, plus dozens of young people arrested over the holiday weekend.
This is preventable. This is not something we just have to accept.
Mayor Muriel Bowser jumping into action, expanding youth curfew laws.
Fans, I was a little girl, and I come to every show if I can.
I've been loving Beyonce since like birth.
The Beehive swarms Northwest Stadium for Beyonce's Cowboy Carter Tour. How fans are feeling about this rodeo Chitlin circuit.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan. Susan Tran has a night off. A live look. What a gorgeous shot of the Washington Monument on this Monday evening, but it is hot and humid out there. It is a sticky night, and we've got a potential for storms on the way. For the latest on the timing, let's check in now with meteorologist Damon Matson. And Damon, I know for tomorrow we're going to be on a DMV First Warn Day.
Right, Chris. Yeah, it's that combination. I mean, you felt how humid it was out
Absolutely.
there today. And it's going to be that and the threat for storms again. So we'll be paying attention to both of those moving forward. But hey, first and foremost, it is that hot, sticky setup out there tonight. Some of us have had a little bit of rainfall earlier today. The remnants from Chantal that moved up the Carolina coastline brought in some tropical moisture and heavy rain to parts of southern Maryland. Now, the rainfall from Chantal has moved on, but the mugginess, that tropical air, certainly hasn't. And in all of that, we do have a couple of spotty storms still popping up out across Washington County in Maryland. Parts of Garrett, Allegheny County, seeing the leftovers of storms that have drifted over from southwestern Pennsylvania. But all in all, it is decently quiet. Now, starting your day tomorrow, also quiet. There's going to be a lot of sunshine, but look, we're already starting in the mid-70s. It is still going to feel extremely muggy, so it's not going to take long to boost up those temperatures and the feels like temps as well into the triple digits. And with that being the case, well, a heat advisory, it's out for all counties along and east of I-95, where that heat index could be up to 105 plus by tomorrow afternoon. Now, also in the mix, like we mentioned, that threat of strong to severe storms will time out when things could get active tomorrow, coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, we'll see you then. Meanwhile, more than 100 people have now died from that catastrophic flooding in Texas, and that number is rising. The massive search continuing tonight for missing people. This is at Camp Mystic, where an all-girls Christian campground has been ravaged by the deadly flood. Officials say at least 28 children have died. Now, the floodwaters are finally receding, and we're seeing the destruction left behind. And check this out. A woman has been rescued after she spent hours clinging to a tree. Officials say she was swept away in the floods and carried more than 20 miles downstream. Witnesses say they heard the 22-year-old yelling for help. Woman says she tried desperately holding on to branches, but they were overtaken just by the powerful current. That is unreal, but she is safe. With those devastating videos painting the picture of tragedy, the work is on to help those helping others. And tonight, volunteers and first responders from D.C. and Virginia are making their impact felt in Texas. D.C. News Now's Max Marcilla joining us with that part of the story here in the studio. And Max, there are so many people hard at work tonight.
Right, and they're hard at work because, as you mentioned, and we have seen, there is still so much damage, so many people still missing in Texas. So with countless people looking for them, there are many others giving a helping hand or a meal to those search teams.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
A universal and painful reaction to the damage left behind after flash floods as parts of Texas torn apart by storms. While first responders work tirelessly to find the missing,
Paul with World Central Kitchen here.
DC-based World Central Kitchen is in Texas. The team giving out thousands of meals to families and first responders over the last 3 days.
If you're a first responder, you've been working a 24-hour straight shift or longer, you need something to replenish you.
The long list of rescue crews is growing by the day. 2 swift water teams from Virginia, including this one from Virginia Beach, leaving the Commonwealth for the Lone Star State.
Scary to see, right? But these folks have faced some of the similar situations most recently in the western part of the state. when we had those floods back in October.
Portsmouth, Virginia-based Mercy Chefs is also serving hot meals.
What has stuck out to you when you see the first responders here and just the damage that has been left behind?
When you ask them how they are, they all say almost the same thing with different words. They say, I've seen things today that I can't unsee.
They say right now our job is limited to financial or spiritual gifts. Additional outside volunteers are asked to wait until searches are over.
Pray for the people that have lost loved ones. Pray for the people that are still missing. It's an unimaginable time of horror for those families.
Now, we know, as Chris mentioned, that some of the people who died were campers or counselors at Camp Mystic. There are others from that camp still missing as the search continues tonight. Live in the studio, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
Prayers to all of them. That is just so heartbreaking, Max. Thanks. Meanwhile, a developing story now at 9. Prosecutors told the judge the Trump administration plans to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia upon his release from a Tennessee jail. The Maryland father was mistakenly deported to El Salvador back in March, now faces smuggling charges in the U.S. The feds say he would be sent to a country that's not his native El Salvador. They say plans are not imminent and they plan to comply with all court orders. Abrego Garcia's attorneys are pushing for him to return to Maryland. Meanwhile, in Montgomery County, an 80-year-old man is accused of killing his wife inside their apartment over the weekend. Police say Vivian Nation stabbed Beverly Fletcher multiple times Saturday. She died inside their Silver Spring home. Court documents say the couple was arguing about an issue with the husband's doctor. He's now being held without bond. New tonight, also in Montgomery County, jury selection underway in the case of an FBI agent charged with rape and sexual assault. Investigators say Eduardo Valdivia raped multiple women at a tattoo shop he owned after offering them a chance to become models. They say Valdivia contacted the women through an Instagram page he created for that tattoo shop. Valdivia is suspended by the FBI and has been in jail since he was arrested last year. If convicted, he could spend decades in prison. Happening now in Prince George's County, police are asking drivers avoid a road in Laurel. You can see here a water main break flooding that area. It's on Washington Boulevard and Gorman Avenue. The break is causing severe road buckling and flooding. Right now, several roads are closed. No word on when they'll open again or how long it'll take to fix all the damage there. Developing now, demolition underway for Baltimore's Key Bridge. In March of 2024, this cargo ship hit that bridge. 6 construction workers on the bridge were killed. Crews will be removing the bridge deck over the river. It's expected now to take several months to do that. In the district, President Trump is weighing in on the RFK Stadium deal. He signaled the federal government could and would step in if needed. Comes as D.C.'s mayor and her team are pushing city council to approve the nearly $4 billion deal by July 15th. However, council chairman Phil Mendelson says meeting the deadline will most likely not happen. 2 public hearings are set for the end of this month. Mendelson says the earliest they could have a vote would be September. Here's President Trump talking about that deal.
So we'll see, but if I can help them out, I will. You know, ultimately we control that. The federal government ultimately controls it, so we'll see what happens.
When asked if the team should change back their name, President Trump said he would. Well, the Beehive, it is swarming for night 2 of Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour there at Northwest Stadium. Concert now underway. Tens of thousands of fans inside. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg. Well, he's not one of them. He is outside. And Daniel, so much excitement from fans there today to see Queen Bee in person. What a thrill for so many.
Absolutely, Chris. I just heard a big round of applause from inside the stadium. So you can hear the music a little bit from out here. You can feel the energy from inside. A lot of fans waited for hours outside to not only get some good seats on the floor, or rather standing room on the floor, but also to get some of that merchandise. Take a look at these lines and these fans. Now, I'm not talking about Beyonce's fans. I'm talking about the manual and electric fans to keep everyone cool. The heat and humidity was brutal outside today. Of course, the show Inside with Beyonce is what everyone is here for. But as one woman said to me earlier, it's not just a concert, but a fashion show. From cowboy hats to boots to custom denim outfits adorned with rhinestones. Of course, a lot of fans are from the DMV, but people traveled from across the country, and we even met 2 people from Ontario, Canada.
This was the closest show to us, and we've been waiting years to see her.
She doesn't come to Canada often, so we're coming to her.
Yeah, I've been loving Beyonce since like birth. I've been a fan since I was a little girl, and I come to every show if I can. And so I'm excited to hear Two Hands to Heaven, Desert Eagle, everything, really. Everything. I just want to be in the same area as Beyonce.
I'm hoping she brings back 16 Carriages. I know she took it away. I know that there was the malfunction, but like, that's a song that speaks to everybody.
So we'll have to wait to see at the end of this concert if those fans got what they wanted to hear. Really sweet to see all kinds of moms and daughters here, even one grandmother who brought her granddaughter for getting good grades in school. Thousands of people inside. Certainly will have a night to remember. We're live at Northwest Stadium. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
And Daniel, I love hearing all the stories, people coming from near and far. You know, some it's their first concert ever, and it's Beyonce. I mean, what a thrill. Beyonce Mania, I mean, is really taking over the DMV this weekend. Cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And again, those outfits were just fantastic. And so a lot of these people getting to experience some of this for the first time, but just to look around and see the enthusiasm everyone has for the Queen, Queen Bee.
Absolutely. What a night and what a weekend here in the DMV for the Beehive. All right, Daniel, thanks. Daniel Hamburg live in Landover.